The Classics building has been sitting vacant for 3 years. Why is this? You'll find out. I'm Alexis Hawes, and here's some exclusive coverage.
The original function of the classroom building, it's often called the Classics building, which is incorrect, although I do kind of like it as a classics teacher. But the original building was a school infirmary, so it was where they kept all the sick kids before Pottstown Hospital was founded. Also housed nursing faculty too.
The classroom building was shut down about 3 years ago when we decided to move the classics program and the history program into the academic center right here.
I had a really nice room. It was a very intimate space, so you could hear each other teach. Kind of felt like you were on your own island, and it was very private, and I think the kids kind of liked coming over there too.
The classroom building was originally designed as an infirmary. It was really never set up to be a classroom space. So the classrooms were unusually shaped, corners were cramped, there were a lot of infrastructure issues. It was not an ideal place for classes.
But there were some closet-like rooms in there. Carpeting was old, a lot of the fixtures were not in good shape. There was one bizarre, ambiguous bathroom on the first floor that had no lock on it. That was for boys and girls, so kind of oddities like that that made the building no longer functional, really.
The building was in pretty bad shape, and we wanted to give our students a first-class classroom experience.
We had class in the Classics building. I actually liked the Classics building. I thought the old feeling kind of fit with campus, although it was a little crammed and gross at times. I really liked it.
It was a little eerie, knowing that all the people that had the Spanish influenza were housed in there, but it was okay.
Because of the age of this building and the long tradition it holds, several students and faculty believe that it may be haunted. It is interesting to hear the different stories that people have.
There's a long Hill School tradition that there was a ghost that inhabited the classroom building. You can actually look up Steph Barron, an advisee of mine. She wrote an article in the Hill News a long time ago about it. A very funny article, actually. But I guess the lore is that because the building was an infirmary, there were students, in fact, who died there. One very famous one was the great uncle of former Secretary of State Jim Baker, who went here himself and also sent his granddaughter here. His haunting involved clanging on pipes and things like that during the academic day. So you could rationally explain this away maybe and say that it was because the heating system was a little bit bad and antiquated, but I prefer the supernatural explanation for that one.
Stepped in, I had a really bad vibe from the building. It was really dark and creepy. There was writings all over the wall, and there was noises coming from upstairs and from the staircase, even though no one was near that area.
There is a future for this building.
We're currently exploring the possibility of turning the classroom building into a dormitory, or potentially tearing the classroom building down and replacing it with a new dormitory. So that study is underway, and we'll have some answers by the beginning of next year as to what we plan to do. It'll take a few years after that to raise the money and develop the plans to actually implement that plan.
The study is just beginning in March, and it'll probably take 2 to 3 months for it to even be completed. Right now we're looking at what we're going to do with the building, and we have hired an architectural firm to come in and do what we call a feasibility study. And the feasibility study will look at the condition of the building, different options that we have in order to possibly use it for the future. Will give us some cost indications, and will hopefully help us to give advice to the administration on exactly what we think the best way forward would be. The basis for our current investigation is whether or not that we could possibly modify the building to turn it into some student residences, dormitory type spaces. It will depend on the condition of the building, how much it would cost to do that versus building new. And again, that's what the feasibility study is being commissioned to help us to determine.
There's a possible future to either reconstruct or refinish this building for further use. Will the ghosts stay attached? Stay tuned to see periodic updates on this building.